सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां सदात्मध्याननिरतं विषयेभ्यः पराङ्मुखं नौमि शास्त्रेषु निष्णातं चन्द्रशेखरभारतीम्. Page 2, fifth line from the bottom. उपनिषदेक समधिगम्य आत्मा नैव ज्ञातुं शक्यते इति अभिप्रायः. We are looking at the Vyakhya to the second verse of the Vivekachudamani, starting with Jantunam Narajanma Durlabham. In the last class, we looked at the commentary to Tatah Pumstvam, and where the AchArya said that women do not have the Vedic sanction to study the Vedas. They do not have the Veda Adhyayana Adhikara. A study of Upanishad scripture is the direct means to the knowledge of the self, and therefore those that do have the right to study scriptures are in a favorable position. This much we had seen in the last class. Continuing, Tatrapi Traivarnikanam Vedadhikara Satvepi Kshatriya Vaishyayoho Rajya Paripalana Krishyadirupanam Chitta Vikshepa Hetubhutanam Bahya Vyaparanam Satvadaidam Paryena Atmavicharaha Durghata iti Mukhajanam Ayan Dharmaha Vaishnavam Lingadharanam बाहुजातोरुजातानां नायं धर्मो विधीयते इति स्मृत्यनुसारेण ऐदम्पर्येण ब्रह्मविचारसाधनसन्न्यासस्य अनवकाशात् एकस्मिन्नेव जन्मनि ब्रह्मादिगमः तयोर्दुर्लभ इति द्योतनार्थं द्विजत्वं ततः इत्यनुक्त्वा ततो विप्रता इत्युक्तम्. Here Acharya is saying that even amongst the three varnas, the Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya Varna, all three of whom have the authority, the adhikara for Veda Adhyayana, to study the scriptures. However, the Kshatriyas and the Vaishyas are responsible for taking care of the kingdom and for commercial activities such as agriculture, etc. All of these are distractions from the main aim of the Vivekachudamani, which is the liberation of the self. Acharya calls them Chitta Vikshepa Hetubhutanam Bahya Vyaparanam. They are external activities that are distractions for the mind. Aidam Paryena Atmavicharaha Durghataha. To focus on the main aim, which is the inquiry into the self, is difficult for them. He then quotes a Smriti which says that Mukhajanam Ayam Dharmaha Vaishnavam Lingadharanam. Those that are born from the mouth of the Purusha. And here, Smriti is referring to the Purusha Sukta which occurs in the Rig Veda, which says that the Brahmanas are born from the mouth of the Purusha. Purusha here being Virat, who is the primordial person, the supreme person. From the arms of the Purusha are born the Kshatriyas, and from the thighs of the Purusha are born the Vaishyas. So this Smriti, which is based on that Purusha Sukta hymn, says, Mukhajanam Ayan Dharmaha Vaishnavam Lingadharanam. The path of renunciation or sannyasa is available for those who are born from the mouth of the Purusha. That is, sannyasa ashrama can be prescribed only for the Brahmanas. It is not available for the other varnas like the Kshatriyas and the Vaishyas who were born respectively from the arms and the thighs of the Purusha. So the Acharya here is saying, because the sannyasa ashrama, which is an important step, a necessary step for liberation, is available only for the Brahmanas, it follows that the Brahmanas have an advantage and they are better positioned to achieve moksha within one birth itself. For the Kshatriyas and the Vaishyas, it will require another birth when they can take up sannyasa ashrama and then attain moksha. To indicate this, in the Vivekachudamani, instead of saying Dvijas are better positioned, Adi Shankara Bhagavatpada says that Brahmanas are better positioned. Dvija means those who are twice born, that is, those who have qualifications for the Upanayana Samskara and who have done the Upanayana Samskara, referring to the three Varnas. So instead of saying Dvijas, Adi Shankara says Brahmanaha because the Brahmanas have the special dispensation to take up sannyasa dharma. Brahmanasya tu dehoyam nopabhogaya kalpate iha kleshaya mahate pretyananta sukhaya cha iti vasishta smritya vedavihita pravritti nivritti dharmanushthanena ekasminneva janmani brahmadigantum shakyam brahmaneneti bhavah. So Acharya is quoting a verse from the Vasishtha Smriti, where it is said, Brahmanasya tu dehoyam nopabhogaya kalpate. This body of this Brahmin, this birth as a Brahmin, has occurred not for enjoying the benefits or leading a comfortable life. It is to take up a lot of penance, a lot of disciplines, physical disciplines, mental disciplines, etc. Iha kleshaya mahate, in this birth, so that pretyananta sukhayacha, so that after his death he has access to unlimited bliss. So the intention here is that the birth as a brahmana is a very rare thing. It is a blessing and must be fruitfully used. It is not to confer any great benefits to that individual in this birth. It is to give them the opportunity to perform all those physical disciplines and mental disciplines that are required to attain moksha, liberation. Thus, the Vasishtha Smriti is saying that for the Brahmana it is possible to achieve Brahman in one birth itself through following those rituals that have been enjoined in the Veda, both the Pravritti Marga and the Nivritti Marga, that is the path of karma and the path of renunciation. By following those two paths, it is possible for the Brahmana to attain liberation in one birth itself. Continuing, Atayeva Tasmad Vaidika Dharma Marga Paratetyuktam. That is why it has been said in the Vivekachudamani that rarer than a Brahmana birth is a birth which involves the following of the Vedic marga or Vedic path of dharma. There are two components to this. One is the pravritti karma, which is essentially performance of the various rites and rituals that have been enjoined in the Veda. One starts performing these with specific desires in mind, with specific outcomes that one desires as a result of the performance of those rituals. And therefore, keeping that desire in mind, one performs the rites to begin with. But over time, one realizes the futility of achieving impermanent results from these actions and starts dedicating the results of those actions to Ishvara. Now, when the very same actions are performed with such an intent in mind, in the sense that if an individual were to perform a particular Vedic ritual, after having given up the results of the action to Ishvara, in the sense that I'm not interested in what this particular rite will give me, I'm doing it merely to please Ishvara. If one does that with such a mindset, the very same karma leads to the achievement of chitta shuddhi, which is the refinement of the mind and the intellect, which is very, very necessary before embarking on a journey of Vedanta. So the Pravritti Marga starts off with Kamya Karma or karma performed for desire, and over time it matures, ripens into Karma Yoga or the performance of rituals with the results of those rituals being dedicated to Ishvara. Now, that is the Pravritti Marga. And after having done Karma Yoga, one moves towards Nivritti Dharma, which is essentially the path of renunciation, wherein one gives up the performance of the karma itself. The formal renunciation of the rituals is the sannyasa ashrama, which is the giving up your everyday duties as a householder and becoming a sannyasi or a hermit. So essentially, what the Vivekachudamani is saying is that one can have a very favorable set of circumstances as a Brahmana, very spiritually conducive set of circumstances as a Brahmana, but mere birth as a Brahmana is insufficient. One has to walk the path of a Brahmana as well. One has to follow the Veda Vihita Pravritti Nivritti Dharma. And that is what the Acharya is saying here in this sentence. He says, Na kevalam viprataya labdhavyam labhyate apitu tam labdva tad uchita dharmanushthanena iti bhavaha. That is, merely by being born as a Brahmin, one does not achieve what needs to be achieved. That is not the be all and the end all of things. Rather, having attained a birth as a Brahmin, one needs to perform the karma that is appropriate for that particular varna. One needs to follow the path that has been enjoined in the scriptures for a brahmana, and by following that path, one is best positioned to attain what needs to be attained, which is moksha. Thus, what has been said about the brahmana varna is equally applicable to the other varnas as well. Every single varna has to follow the karmas and the duties that have been prescribed for that varna within the scriptures. And in doing that, one stands the best chance of not only benefiting society but benefiting themselves as well. Continuing, Dharmo Vishwasya Jagatah Pratishtha Dharmena Papam Apanudati iti Shrutya Dharmasyaiva Sukhasadhatvam Dukkha Hetu Papa Nivartakatvam Tan Nivritya Dukkha Bhava Hetutvam Cheti Sukham Me Bhuyam Dukkham Me Ma Bhutiti Sakala Jana Kamana Vishaya Sukha Dukkha Bhava Rupa Purushartha Sadhanatvam Tasyaiva Dyotetum Dharati iti Dharmaha Dhriyate Anena iti Va Dharmaha iti Vyutpatya Jagat Pratishtha Hetutvam तस्य श्रुतिबोधितं सूचयितुं वैदिककर्ममार्गपरता अनुक्त्वा धर्ममार्ग इत्युक्तं वैदिककर्मणः धर्मत्वेपि कर्मशब्देन विवक्षितार्थालाभात्. So Acharya here is saying, according to the Shruti, which says that Dharmo Vishwasya Jagatah Pratishtha, which occurs in the Mahanarayana Upanishad of the Taittiriya Shaka of the Krishna Yajurveda. Here it is said that the support of the entire universe is dharma. It is because of dharma that the entire universe is sustained. It is through dharma that one gets rid of papa. And thus, what the Acharya is saying by quoting these two Shrutis, it is that it is dharma and only dharma through which one is able to achieve happiness and avoid papa, which is the cause of sorrow. And by helping to avoid that cause, serves as the reason for avoiding sorrow as well. Jagadguru Srimad Chandrashekhara Bharati Mahaswamigal is saying that Acharya Shankara Bhagavad Pada is specifically using the word dharma instead of the word karma. Now, the word dharma can also cover the Vedic rituals or Vedic karmas. So he could have also said karma marga parata. However, instead of using the word karma, he's using the word dharma for a very specific reason. And the specific reason is that it is dharma which is the means for the achievement of a universally desirable thing. Everybody in this world naturally has the feeling, let me attain happiness, let no sorrow befall me. This is something which is a universal feeling shared by everybody. And dharma, because it is the cause of the accrual of punya and for the avoidance of papa, directly plays a role and is the cause of the source of happiness and serves as a means to avoid sorrow. And therefore, to indicate this, Dyotayitum, that the desired objective of securing joy and avoiding sorrow is not possible by rituals alone. It requires dharma. Shankaracharya uses the word dharma marga parata instead of karma marga parata. Now, there are two explanations for the word dharma. One is dharati iti dharmaha, and the second thing is dhriyate anena itiva dharmaha. So, in the first vyutpatti or explanation, because it supports the universe, dharati, it is called dharma. Or alternatively, because the universe is supported by this, it is called dharma. In both forms, what is being indicated by the word dharma is is sustenance of the universe. It's sustaining character of the universe. And therefore, in order to explain the wider context of how dharma plays a role in attaining a universally desired objective, and to highlight the fact that dharma sustains the universe, Shankaracharya uses the word dharma instead of karma. This is what Jagadguru Srimad Chandrashekhara Bharati Mahaswamigal is conveying with that sentence. Continuing. यदि धर्म व्यतिरिक्तं किंचित सुख साधनं दुःख निवृत्ति साधनं च स्यात् तत् साधन संपादनेन सर्वो लोकः सर्वदापि सुखी निवृत्त दुःखश्च स्यादेव. If there were any other means available for the accrual of happiness and the avoidance of sorrow, people would simply take up those means and achieve that objective. However, no such means exist, and therefore, to secure the objective of gaining happiness and avoiding misery, dharma is the only refuge. धर्मस्य तु अतीन्द्रियत्वेन शास्त्रैकसमधिगम्यत्वात् जनानां तज्ज्ञानस्य शास्त्रमन्तरासम्भवात् साधनालाभात् फलालाभः इति प्रतिपादयितुं शक्यते. Taduktam Vaidiketi. Now, the Jagadguru is explaining why Shankaracharya uses the word Vaidika in Vaidika Dharma Marga Parata. That is, he is saying Dharma is Atindriyam, meaning it is beyond the reach of senses. And it's Shastreka Samadhigamyam, that is, it can only be known through Shastra. So, Shastra is the only means to know Dharma. He will later go on to speak about the Purva Mimamsa definition of dharma as in Chodana Lakshanortho Dharma. That is, the only means to know what constitutes dharma and what constitutes adharma is Shastra and nothing else. Because there are no other means of knowledge that can universally determine what is dharma and what is adharma apart from scripture. Because dharma is beyond the reach of senses, and because Shastras are the only means to dharma, if Shastra is not resorted to, the objective of attaining happiness and avoiding sorrow cannot be achieved. And that is why Shankaracharya says Vaidika Dharma Marga Parata and not simply Dharma Marga Parata. Now comes the Purva Mimamsa definition of dharma. The Jagadguru says Dharmasya Lakshanam Chodana Lakshanortho Dharmaha iti जैमनी महर्षिभिः सूत्रितं यत् वेदप्रमाणकत्वं तद्वैदिकेति विशेषणेन अवगमितम्. Purvamimamsa is a shastra that deals with the interpretation of Vedic sentences. It essentially frames the rules using which one can understand what is being conveyed by the Veda. And just like in Vedanta, which is often referred to as Uttara Mimamsa, there is a sutra called the Brahma Sutra. In the Purva Mimamsa also, there is a sutra called the Purva Mimamsa Sutra. And the author of the Purva Mimamsa Sutra is Jaimani Maharshi, who was a disciple of Vedavyasa. Now, Jaimani Maharshi, in the Purva Mimamsa Sutra, defines dharma using the maxim Chodana Lakshanortho Dharma, meaning dharma is that which is the subject of a chodana or an injunction, meaning it is what is enjoined by the Vedas. And with that statement, what Jaimani Maharshi wants to convey is that the sole arbiter on what determines or what constitutes dharma is the Veda and nothing else. Continuing, Nahi Vedam vina pramanantaram dharma vishaye padamadhatum ishte tasyatindriyatvena pratyakshasya tatra prasarat. This is just what we are talking about. Essentially, the Jagadguru here is saying, because there is no other pramana or means of knowledge with respect to dharma apart from the Veda, and because dharma is not something that is accessible by the senses, It is beyond the reach of sensory perception. अतएव नानुमानं तत्र प्रसरति प्रत्यक्षमूलकत्वात् अनुमानप्रवृत्तेः. So here Acharya is saying, therefore, logical reasoning also does not play a role in revealing dharma, because any reasoning has as its basis perception. Now, this is quite an important scientific principle at play. Just like in any inference that is drawn, the basis of it is always data that is gathered from perception. So one observes something occurring in nature, and based on it, one draws an inference or a conclusion. So, for example, if I look at a mountain and I infer the presence of fire somewhere in the mountain, I do it on the basis of smoke that is emerging from the mountain. So I look at smoke emerging from the mountain and say there must be fire somewhere. If I hadn't seen smoke, I would not be able to infer the presence of fire. If inference has to operate, therefore, there must be something that is perceived, because without perception, inference itself is not possible. And using that general principle, Acharya is saying, because dharma is beyond perception, it logically follows that dharma is also beyond inferential reasoning. With that, we will pause this session now and we'll take up the rest of the Vyakhya in the next session. Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.